So I wanted to start the show with, it says it right there, MoviePass. Now I know every other week we talk about how MoviePass is dead and it's on its last legs.
I saw an Instagram post from you about that.
Instagram?
Yeah, I think it was something like, hey, I'm going to use MoviePass. You better, because it's going to die, or something like that. Like, oh, use it one more time. It's almost dead.
Oh, yeah. I posted something on Facebook. So I want to see Tommy C's new movie, you know? Mission Impossible. I don't know or care what it's called. Because to me, it's just Tom Cruise's new movie. And there are all these reports with MoviePass lately. Like, it started with the surge pricing, where it's like if you go during the weekend times, they're gonna jack you for another $5 or some such shit.
They're hitting you with that Uber.
Yeah, and I was like, and I said that sucks and that's not cool. We did not agree to this, but it's not going to affect me because I don't really go on the weekends. I don't really see the new movies the week they come out, so it's not really gonna bother me all that much. But then people were saying that they were getting hit with surge prices at like Tuesday at like 1 p.m.
It's what happens when you let Skynet make the rules, man. It happened when I was doing Dark Lord Day. This guy was like, I tried to get an Uber. It was $400 right now. It's like, so the new Star Wars is out. It's gonna be $40 a piece to see this with MoviePass.
Jesus.
Surge pricing.
Dark Lord?
Dark Lord Day. Yeah, Dark Lord Day. From Three Floyds.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't say that like I'm supposed to know what that is.
You're a fancy beer guy. It's a fancy beer.
I like craft beer, but I've never heard of a specific day for it. Is that when they crack it open?
Yeah, they only sell it that one day a year, and people come in all over the world to get it.
Oh, what a scam.
Well, so at like 1 p.m, this guy said, I was already giving him a Lyft ride, and he says to me, I didn't mean to cut you off, but now you got to know the story. He says to me, I'm going to be honest, like I give a shit. I'm going to be honest. I was trying to get an Uber first, and they were both about $100 to go from Munster to Naperville. That's a far ride. He's like, then at 6 o'clock when I wanted to leave, Uber was $300. He's like, if I wanted to Uber XL, which is like the SUV, he said it was $420. So I just took a Lyft.
So Lyft doesn't have the surge pricing.
Not like that. It doesn't.
Not like that.
$400.
Now we're serious. Just like, I'm going to do the math for you.
It's like, you ever see a product on Amazon and the guy's trying to game the algorithm, and it'll be like $9,000 for this CD. I feel like these movie passes and Ubers and stuff, when they try and work in like a surge pricing, it always blows up in their face.
At fucking Amazon, fucking trying to get the system. That's why I had to pay $75 for my Insane Clown Posse Hocus Pocus CD. It's fucking bullshit. Hate that. Back to MoviePass, if we can.
Sure.
See, yeah, it's not. Well, I have a thing because it wasn't looking too good for them, and the surge pricing, and you got to take a picture of your receipt, all this stuff. And this past week, people were having issues of just seeing movies at all. They're just like, we were declined entry, and they're like, oh, it's a problem with our MasterCard provider and stuff like that. Well, today
sounds like mischief.
But today I wanted to go see Tom Cruise. I want to talk about it for the show, so I can talk. I just want to talk about Tom for like an hour, but I couldn't. So I go to my local Marcus Theater and I get the MoviePass app and I fire it up, and I knew there was a showing at 2:20. And I get the Marcus Theater in the MoviePass app, and it says exactly what it's showing there on the screen. There are no more screenings
of a movie that just came out.
Of any movie. That's the list for every movie. That's just Marcus Theater. That's not Tommy C. That's for all the movies at the Orland Park Cinemas.
So they said, we're done with this MoviePass bullshit.
And I said, what about this Imagine Theater in Frankfurt, which I enjoy? Same fucking thing. Same. There are no more screenings.
Wow.
And I said, this is it. You are dead. We can't use your service. That's goodbye. I went home. I opened up MoviePass again. I said, when does this end? When does my subscription end? Because some people did yearly because you could save a couple bucks, and I do monthly, which is $10. My subscription for their service ends on the 14th of August. I'm going to cancel on the 12th or 13th. I'm going to try to maybe see Tom's new movie before then, but I mean, it's right there on the fucking screen. There are no more screenings. This is what you get when you try to use their app, their service.
What? Nothing of anything. There are no more screenings of anything anywhere.
And they're like, you can use the e-ticketing. I don't even know what this is. Some theaters have e-ticketing. You can go to there. And I was like, where's that one at? Oh, Chicago, Illinois. I'm good. Oh, what's this other one? Wheaton. I'm okay.
That's right down the road from Orland.
So, I mean, this has been a long time coming. But it looks like it's finally happening. MoviePass is dead. And luckily, I've been waiting for this. I've been preparing for this. On the screen here in a few seconds for you, there's another like competing subscription service called Sinemia, which is a terrible name. It's like I want to say cinema enema.
Cinema.
But it's called Sinemia, like sin, like don't be a sinner. And then Emia. It's terrible.
Ooh, this looks Russian. This doesn't even look real.
What about it looks Russian? Oh, because it's just give them colorful Florida colors.
It doesn't look like movie themed or anything. It's just like click on the button and you'll go on movie.
Just get a credit card now. Well, I've been keeping an eye on this for the last couple months because the writing's been on the wall, and I've been getting emails every couple of weeks like, hey, join up, discount codes, all this sort of thing. And this Sinemia seems to be the successor to MoviePass. They have a business plan. It's a bit more pricey if you read, not by much, but they limit you. Like that one right there, it's $13, $14 a month, but you can only see 3 movies that month. And that's not as good as what MoviePass was promising. The problem is MoviePass's promise was a lie.
Yeah.
If this is legit and they're saying, hey, $14, 3 movies a month, you can see 3D IMAX if that's how you get your jollies, like that's fine. That's something I would consider. And it looks like I might go that way. You can do the monthly or you can do the yearly. If you do monthly, there's a bullshit $20 initiation fee.
It's like a gym.
Yeah, but if you do the yearly one, the initiation fee is waived. But I mean, MoviePass fucked me over because I love going to the movies now. Like it was a lot of fun. I started remembering why I liked it, and then they took it away from me. But for $14, you see one movie, it kind of pays for itself. 2, you definitely do. It's almost like an assignment though, in a way, where it's just like, I have to see 3 movies this month, honey, because I got to get my money's worth. With MoviePass, you could dick around. But with this, it's going to make you go to the theater. So long story, not as long. I think I'm probably going to jump to this Sinemia because I mean, Halloween's coming out. Some movies that I want to see are in theaters. Right. I want to see Tom's new movie. It's finally fucking happened though, folks. MoviePass is dead. You can't use it. Even if you wanted to use it, you can't.
But we still do e-ticketing.
Yeah, go to Wheaton.
It seemed when you first talked about MoviePass, it seemed too good to be true. What was it, like $10 a month, unlimited movies? And they just couldn't do it. They couldn't deliver. It's like they didn't have the money to do it.
Well, yeah, and the only caveat at the time was no IMAX, no 3D. And it's just like, that's fine. Okay. But then the next month they would change it. You have to take a picture of your receipt. Then 2 months later, it's like you can only see a movie one time. All right. And then it's surge pricing and this and that. And then it just doesn't work. So
I'm sorry, there are no more screenings anywhere ever. Thank you for joining MoviePass.
It's interesting to have seen this attempt by MoviePass, and like we're going to see this in general. Sinemia, it might not be the true successor. Theater chains themselves look like they're trying to do some sort of subscription base, so they're just like, come to AMC theaters, come, So
Yeah.
we're at the starting point of something very interesting, and we'll see where it goes. And who wins this war. Disney will probably just step in, be like, we've done it.
We bought movies. We own all of them. You can't make movies unless you're us.
So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like I said, Sinemia, like they have their hiccups every now and then as well. I think it was last week, or maybe it was this past weekend. Like they had a glitch in their system and their service was unavailable for a period of time. So nothing's perfect out there. There's no big dog that's really crushing this. There's no Steam, Gabe Newell is just owning this. But we'll see.
Well, here's the difference. Steam, when it came out, I want to say in 2003 or 2004. It was a shit show for several years. So by the time the orange box came out, they had 2, 3, 4 years of ironing out kinks. So imagine if MoviePass had 4 years to be around and like fix things before it really blew up huge. It makes sense what you said about the theaters. Why wouldn't they just do that? To me, that seems like a no-brainer. It seems like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. We'll just do that ourselves. We don't need you.
Well, I mean, they've always dicked around with $5 Tuesdays, and they do have weird packages, but nothing like this. And this is what people want. This is what people are used to. So I'm surprised that it hasn't happened, but somebody will. It seems like AMC is trying to figure it out. It's gonna take a chunk out of their profits early, I think, and I think that's what's holding people back from making that leap. But once a company like a successful MoviePass starts taking that money away, then I think they'd be more willing to take one in the ass for a few months to do that. And because I have a local Marcus, I don't really have an AMC too close, and I have that Imagine. It's just people want to go to the movies and they don't want to drive an hour away.
Yeah.
What's close to me? This company? Do they have a weird subscription thing where I'll save some bucks? I'll do it. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, you were loving it. I mean, you were living high on the hog for a little bit while it was working and everything.
And then the last couple movies I saw, because I looked at my history, it was Action Point with Johnny Knoxville and that bad comedy Tag, where the adults played tag all their lives. And it was a good story from an article, but the movie was dog shit. So unfortunately, my last couple movies weren't that great. But like I said, I keep coming back to fucking Halloween. I'm like, I can't pay $12 to see Halloween, can I? I will.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't want to. So that's what's happening in my life. How are you?
I'm good. I just got back from a little weekend getaway. We actually saw 2 movies this weekend as a family because they had one of these sort of like the theater out by you where you got the big cushy seats, but these like, they recline all the way. You could pull the divider up. So we went and saw Ant-Man and Wasp, which I liked it. I liked it a little bit more than the first one.
Okay, so I was going to ask.
The first one's not my favorite by any means, but it knows what it is. It doesn't try and be the super serious, this is so important crux of the Marvel universe. It's very funny. Like the first one, it's a little funnier. I think it's a little weak in the villain department compared to the first one because there's sort of like a split, like 2 villains that have nothing to do with each other.
Is it like one for her, one for him?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't go that route. But it's interesting. They do cool stuff with the FBI and his family and things like that. and his buddy security company thing it's funny. It's good. I liked it.
Is it
It's worth
funnier
seeing.
than the trailers? Because the jokes they used in the trailers weren't that great.
Oh, it's way funnier than I don't remember seeing the trailers and laughing at all. It's way funnier than the trailers.
Like there was one joke and it was okay, but he was just like, "You go low, I'll go high," and she's like, "I have wings. Why would I go low?" And I'm like, "That's not a joke. That's just a good fucking point that she's made to you."
I don't even remember that happening in the movie.
They took it out.
Yeah, I don't even remember that
movie?
occurring. The other movie was Hotel Transylvania 3.
Yeah, the kids like to see movies too.
Yeah, that we all four of us saw both movies, and because of that environment where you can sort of kick back, everybody was cool. You know, this was the first time we took our 3-year-old to the theater, and he was very, very good for both movies.
If you have more to this story, we'll circle back to it. Before I saw those 2 bad movies, Johnny Knoxville, I saw Jurassic World 2 and I saw Incredibles 2 in theaters. Jurassic World wasn't great as far as audience, some loud people, kids. Incredibles 2, and I wasn't having a good week. I wasn't having a good time. And I go into this, and it was like a Wednesday at like 11:45 a.m. I'm like, this should be okay. And it's on its way out of theaters. I thought I crushed it. This fucking place was packed, and there were so many kids, and
Kids.
here's the part that blew my mind. Like, yeah, kids. You know, at some point, a parent has to test the kid.
Yeah.
Are you good enough for movies? Well, we're gonna find out. You know when the answer is no, when they're in a baby carrier. The answer's no.
I know.
When they're walking in with the fucking luggage, I'm like, no. Think he's going to enjoy the fucking Frozone's humor in this. Please leave.
My 3-year-old loves Frozone.
It was bad. And to be fair, the kids, it was great. And I'm sure you understand this. It got better as it went. They kind of started watching the movie. And then I think they just kind of got exhausted. Like they were just like too tired to be loud. And I was like, this is great. Like they got tuckered out.
Yeah. Our 3-year-old got scared during Ant-Man.
That's kind of cute.
During the trailer, because there was a trailer for the Meg with the giant megalodon. He did not find that amusing at all. And it was really loud. So most of both movies, he was sort of covering his ears a little bit. But Teddy's our 8-year-old. When he was 2, we took him to see the first Avengers because they're just different kids. We knew that when you're taking a 2-year-old to Avengers on opening night and people are looking at you like, really? Why are you doing this to us?
And you're just like, watch,
just
wait, crush it.
Just wait. He's going to be better than you are.
Mr. Phone.
And he was just glued. He was just immersed because I'd been building it up to him, and he was, and Captain America and Iron, they're all going to be in it. And he had seen all those movies leading up to it, and he was just, I can't believe what I'm seeing. But Jack's a little more, he's louder. He's a little more fidgety.
He likes to talk.
Yeah, but he was good because we could kick back and we could sort of hold him, keep him entertained, and he didn't feel like he's cooped up in the little seat, like the normal seat, where he's fidgeting around, he can't get comfortable. So I think we're probably going to see more movies as a foursome.
You were so happy.
At a place that has those kind of reclining seats and the more space and all that, because he did really well with it. So I'm going to take him to see Halloween.
I love it. There's no megalodons.
Yeah.
And he loves teeth. He loves teeth. No, it's funny you mentioned like some kids being better than others. I don't remember which movie I went to see, but it was just me for a while. And then this woman comes in with, I think, her grandkids, and there was like 4 of them, and they were loud coming in. They were loud and eating. And then the trailers start, and they're still kind of loud. And I'm like, fucking hell, can I just leave? And then I'm like, no, because MoviePass doesn't let you see the same movie twice. So if I leave, I won't be able to see this film. But when the movie started, those kids shut the fuck up. And I was so shocked by that. Like when it was done, I wanted to be like, hey, grandma, you did a fucking great job. But she got them the hell out of there. I think they had to piss. But I was so surprised. And then like during the trailers, a couple came, just like in late 20s, early 30s, and they were the obnoxious ones.
I hate that.
So you can never fucking tell.
No,
you can never tell.
I'm so the opposite that if my wife turns to me just to whisper something during the movie, I shoot her this look. Like, the movie's happening. Why are you talking to me right now?
Give the little leg squeeze. Mm-hmm,
so the kids know that, like, I'm there for me. I'm not there for you. Hotel Transylvania, I was not really interested in. But, you know, when I'm there to see Avengers on opening night, like, you better be quiet and pay attention because I'm going to be quiet and pay attention. And if you ruin this for me, I'm going to just pile drive you in front of all these people.
How often do you have to have that talk leading up to it? Like, you guys might not like it. You guys are going to want to be loud. You get like how many like warnings beforehand do you have to do?
I mean, they just know
it's a long movie. Blah blah blah. If you guys are loud, I'm going to beat the shit. Like,
there's been a couple times where the older one has been irritating during certain movies, like towards the middle, where he's got to go to the bathroom over and over, that type of thing. But never talking. They just know. It's like church. Like, they know we don't go to church. We go to the show every once in a while, and you don't talk, and it's dark, and Daddy's going to get really mad if you disturb the show.
Yeah, when you mentioned going to the bathroom, I think it was Incredibles, and I was sitting next to, like, I think they were fucking high schoolers, and I think she was finger banging him. It was... It was like a weird, but very new relationship
Didn't
thing.
Smell like a queef.
And for whatever reason, I got put right next to them, even though there were extra seats. And I was like, I should have probably moved. But it was like maybe the second, maybe even third time, a couple rows ahead of us, a parent was bringing their kid out. And I'm assuming bathroom. Because they weren't loud. Like, let's get this crying kid the fuck out of here. I think the kid just had to piss. And these fuckers just like, oh, geez, again with that. I'm just like, motherfuckers gotta piss. What the fuck?
Yeah, you're finger banging.
I don't want to have that shit waft in like 5 minutes. Let them go to the bathroom.
You know what disturbed me about the sort of like pleathery kickback seats with the arm that goes up?
Where people put their feet on it? Yeah.
No. I look back behind me because I hear some commotion. There's some high schoolers back there. All girls, all sitting separately, but all had brought blankets in to the theater.
I've seen this.
Yeah. How much cum is on those seats? Probably quite a bit. Like, it would be really easy. Like, oh no, we just got a blanket. Oh, we're just putting the arm cuddle thing up so we can cuddle. Jizzing everywhere on the seat.
Now, because I've seen, and they were girls, but with like the towels or blankets, and I'm just like, yeah, it gets fucking cold in there. I get it, and now you've ruined that.
Yeah, like how easy would it be to go in, you know, with a chick, bring a blanket, put the thing up, and like,
are you cold, babe?
Some of the cum's getting on the seat.
Babe, I think you're cold. Let's put this blanket over us and warm up. It's so frigid. Finger bang me?
I'm like, that's why they're fake leather. That makes sense.
Put it inside me. So I'm glad you had a little mini vacation. You saw some movies. You had a good time. I see you're back in the regular office, back home.
Yeah.
I feel we should talk about these wrestler deaths that happened this week. Have you heard about any of this? You sometimes know.
When did they happen? I haven't, but when did they happen? Because I was out of town from Thursday until yesterday.
I think all of them a couple days ago.
Okay, so I didn't really see anything on Facebook, and I didn't go looking, and they probably don't make the news ticker on the iPhone unless it's like Hulk Hogan, so...
Yeah, even my my Google News was like, "Do you care about this person dying?" And I was like, "Not really."
Oh no, that's horrible.
But I did the first one, which was Nikolai Volkov
Oh,
passed away.
okay. He seems like he's probably pretty old though, right?
Why don't you go ahead and give me an age?
Nikolai Volkov, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna say he was
Volkov.
71.
70 years old,
Ooh,
Jim.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Right there.
So that's not old enough for me to go. Like I would be pissed if I went at 70. But for a wrestler, I feel like he's bumping the average up.
Probably significantly. He was recently released from the hospital with dehydration issues. So I don't know. It's a sad situation. These guys, they get up there in years, and these bodies don't last forever, especially when you're a professional wrestler. Before we move on to this next death. Nikolai Volkov, you a fan? Anything for you? Because personally, it was beyond my time. And whenever I went back to watch older stuff, it was never anything I was glued to. I know him and Iron Sheik were a tag team for a while, and it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything of his when it was current. Like, just tapes. You go to Star Video, rent an old tape, and he's on there. But I don't think... even the stuff I can remember from 3 and 4 years old, he was probably already gone, 88, 89. Like the stuff I've seen is just tapes from like mid 80s.
Yeah, that brings up a good question that we can't answer because we didn't watch Nikolai Volkov. And if anybody's in chat, probably not, because I'm not eating a weird meat this week.
Yeah, it's just me watching. I'm the one viewer right now.
Well, listeners, get at us on our Facebook page. Was Nikolai Volkov good? Was he good? Because we know Iron Sheik and Sheiky Baby, and he has a boner, and he puts in the camel clutch, and he humbles you, all this shit, and he would get good heat. Mm-hmm. And Nikolai Volkov always just kind of seemed there. But was he fucking good? Because for a while, like Arn Anderson was under the radar until people really started to look like, no, Arn Anderson's kind of the shit. Was it a situation like that?
I bet it wasn't, because he was in the WWF for a while. No, because he was in the WWF for a while. He's a big guy, and they gave him the Soviet gimmick, so he was probably out there. I don't think he was ever under the radar like Arn Anderson style. Arn Anderson was sort of like a smaller guy for a wrestler, like height wise.
Yeah, but he was a solid promo, and of course Arn could go in the ring. He just wasn't. He could just never really like take it to that main event type of level. But he like, I wouldn't say a hell of a hand, but he's fucking Arn Anderson, Interesting. I know he was Nikolai was, I think it was Croatian playing a Russian, and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, 70 years old, bumps that average up significantly. The other one this weekend, took people by surprise, especially me, because I had just seen a day prior, which is very spooky and sad for this story, and you'll see, because he was arrested for, I think, drinking and driving, but it was Brian Christopher, Jerry Lawler's son.
Oh, okay.
I was like, because it was a story, it's just like, Brian Christopher fucking arrested again, drinking and driving. Here's his mugshot. And of course, he looks like shit. And then a day later, it's like, Brian Christopher's dead, hanged himself in jail. I was like, oh, whoops, fuck. Jeez, take the lace. You're supposed to take the laces.
Yeah.
Tim didn't take the laces. I didn't look at the details. I don't know what he did it with or anything like that. But, I mean... this guy's had drinking and drug issues for a long time, and fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't know. I wonder how Jerry Lawler's taking it.
I don't know, because I know he has a podcast, and I know his Conrad was posting stuff like for Jerry, like, Jerry appreciates your thoughts at this time, blah blah blah. But I mean, probably not great.
Yeah,
you know.
I just wonder, I watched the Ric Flair 30 for 30, and he seems like he had a pretty just sort at times like really distant relationship with his kids. Like he never wanted to be home. He always wanted to be on the road. And I just wonder how, I mean, it's still your kid. I can't imagine. I just wonder how close he was. Was this his only kid? Like,
well, and
I don't know anything about their relationship.
To that, I did see, and it did sound like very hot and cold sort of relationship.
Yeah.
But I did see a thing recently, obviously, where, because this is a suicide, but Jerry Lawler had said that he had tried something like this before, and Jerry tried to get him help for it, and obviously that didn't really take. So, I mean, whether you have your falling outs with family, but like when shit gets real bad, you try to be there, and it sounds like he did try in that extent, but it just kind of didn't take, and the guy had what they would call his demons, as Bruce Pritchard would say. It's rough. It's sad. I mean, Nikolai Volkov's sad too. 70 years old is also too young. Speaking of wrestler deaths,
are there more?
Marty Jannetty, Jim.
He didn't die,
but his career is so fucking dead.
I would have heard if he died.
That one, your fucking phone would have exploded.
That's my era. That's my sweet spot.
This like we've talked about Marty and how he's just remember that whole daughter thing on Facebook. Should I fuck her? She says she's my daughter, but she's hot.
And he got hacked. He said he got hacked, but when you read the text, it's like verbatim.
Yeah,
how he can't write.
It's like finding a Trump thing and tying it together. Exactly. This guy can't stay off Facebook though, Jim.
I just read what you posted.
This one was from July 22nd. Marty Jannetty posts, I just found out I'm not pregnant, even though WWE didn't wear a condom. So some sort of they've fucked me type of thing. And I'm pretty up to date with wrestling stuff because I can't help myself. I don't know what he's talking about or what this relates to. Like the video game didn't come out and they have Marty Jannetty character. Like there's nothing that I can attach this to except for it was like a fucking Friday night and he was hammered.
Was there maybe it's something we don't know about? Maybe there was going to be a thing where he's going to make an appearance on Raw or something and they cut it or something.
Good. That's a good leap. There is SmackDown 5000 coming up or something, but I don't know why he would be or want to be involved with that. He wasn't really a SmackDown fixture. But he was never on SmackDown, so why would he want to be on their celebration show?
He doesn't care what they're celebrating.
Yeah,
you're talking about the guy that was like, "Hey, she's not daughter." Like,
she not daughter.
Whatever he said. You don't do that because she's daughter or whatever.
She daughter. He's a fucking caveman.
And you're asking why would he want? I don't get it. Why would his character want to be on? Because he wants to get paid.
But there's no it wasn't like a Shawn Michaels retrospective or anything. I don't know.
Maybe they were going to bring the Rockers back. And no, because then he wouldn't have said WWE. He would have said Shawn.
Yeah, I just if we still did a Deadpool, I'd be very tempted to add Marty to my list because every year he just seems to be falling off that deep end
and always drinking heavily.
Always drinking heavily, and he still does shows. These guys always do shows. Like fucking Dory Funk's like 97, and he's just like, just tag me in for a clothesline.
I watched one of his recent indie shows.
Who?
Marty Jannetty.
Probably wasn't fantastic.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but those like cool leaping, flying things are a little slow.
You can't do that. Yeah,
they're a little slow. Like the later RVD stuff, where they're just standing there waiting for him to finish somersaulting. Or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, that's I was thinking about that recently. But these guys who wrestle till they're dead, the Terry Funks of the world, the ones that are high flyers, like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't, like, after like 50, your body won't let you do that. Like Rey Mysterio's still going, and that's crazy. And he's in great shape. He's definitely on the gas, but he had a good surgery to fix some things up. But I just feel bad for these guys who, like, agility was your thing, but that's the first thing that's gonna go.
Yep.
If you're stone cold and you're a brawler, you can Terry Funk it up.
Yep.
And go until they bury you.
That's exactly it. The fast, high flying guys. Once that starts to go, it just starts to look weird. Like, even if you can still do it, but it's too slow, it's just odd. Whereas if you're just giant, you can throw people around.
I think it was like 2002, 2004, a lot longer than it should have. But Chris Jericho against Ricky Steamboat in WWE, for whatever reason, there was a feud there. I don't know.
Oh, there's like a Legends show or something. Then he ended up coming back for like a year.
They were like, "You're in great shape. What the fuck?" But like, there was very chain wrestling. That was on the ground. That was very, up here stuff and just manipulating joints and keeping it on the mat. So that made sense. And yeah, he would go to the top rope every now and then for a big spot or a finish. But otherwise, it was down there, and that was, I don't know. That was very cool. That was very cool.
Yeah, I felt that when I was reading about his comeback thing in Jericho's book. That's the one of the times I was like, oh, I wish I was watching then. That would have been cool to watch.
I was half watching, and I didn't like it. I was like, why are we doing this? You're wasting my Chris Jericho. I will slap you for wasting my Chris Jericho. But then, like, the match happened and this feud happened, and I said, this is the coolest thing. This is very awesome.
We got to do a little story time because you mentioned the slap. You'll slap him for wasting your Chris Jericho, and I think only a handful of us know what that. I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, it's about 3 young men watching wrestling. One of the young men's dads brings them Subway sandwiches. But Chris Jericho's cutting a promo.
He's cutting a promo.
And one of the young men's dads, he starts talking during Chris Jericho's promo. And the young man gets up and just slaps his father in the face and says, "You don't talk when Chris Jericho's talking." And that's just a story. I don't know. You take it for what it is.
I'm sure that young man was hopped up on caffeine and Coca-Cola and has regretted that.
Yeah, and
unfortunate incident.
Maybe he had pictures of Hollywood Hogan on his wall covering holes. You never know.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Interesting story.
So those are the wrestler deaths this week. All right, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Did you look down to see what the next talking point is? And I did. I don't know if I want to bring this one. It's Halloween 2018, and cinemablend.com has a very interesting quote, which is from Halloween director David Gordon Green. He was on Nerdist. That's where this comes from, I believe. But just last week, I think you were saying, I don't want to know too much.
Correct.
I want to have some surprises. So I'm very torn on this one. I think here's the thing. Do you want to agree with me, Jim? Let's have a moment. Do you want to agree that this will be the last thing until the movie comes out? Because eventually they're just going to add up. And we're just going to know it together.
Yeah, I'll agree. It's not too far away. I'll agree.
Okay. This will be the last bit, because this is a chunk, a nugget that I think if it happened in theaters and you'd had no idea, you'd probably pop for it pretty hard. But hopefully they'll have some more of those moments in store for us. I am going to read it. This is the last one, guys. You're never going to see Halloween in the show notes again until the movie comes out. Cinemablend.com, Nerdist, David Gordon Green. Mm-hmm. The director says this: "We have a Donald Pleasance sound-alike. because obviously he's no longer with us, but having someone that could mimic his voice was a fun challenge. And we nailed it, I think, if I do say so myself. And then there's a couple other nods to past films. There's a vocal cameo you may or may not notice till the end credits.
Okay, are you trying to get me to pry into this?
I mean, this is all I know, so pry all the fuck you want. But I just think, and I was like, oh, I'll bring that to the show. And I was just like, man, if Jim was in the theater watching this Halloween and he heard Donald Pleasance, if he heard Dr. Loomis, I think you would have popped for it. And I felt kind of bad about bringing it. And obviously, like they say, it is a sound alike. It's a guy doing an impression. But you might not have known that. It could have been old footage and audio that they yanked.
Oh, I would know.
Oh.
I would know. I'm not bothered by you bringing this up. This doesn't spoil anything for me. They did it in H2O poorly.
They did it. They did it in a
Didn't
bunch of them.
really sound like him too much. And what was weird in H2O is he was just reading stuff that's in the movie. So why get a sound-alike to say lines from a movie where that actual person has already read those lines? Just cut and paste him. Like Alec Guinness style in The Force Awakens. I don't know how I feel about this. You could just make him be dead, but I could see where this is going to tie in. It'll probably be notes, recording, tape recording stuff.
Look at that. All right, this is what I was waiting for. Jim's fucking theories, which have been spot fucking on every episode. Jim, go.
Yeah. Donald Pleasance is dead. In real life, Dr. Loomis would be dead at this point of old age. I mean,
or just so decrepit. He's like the crypt keeper.
So you wouldn't have a sound-alike in here because he's in the movie alive as a character. But you go through his old recordings. You're making a documentary about Halloween. You go through the doctor's notes, and maybe he sets up some plot things in there, drops you little hints, like something about the mask.
Yeah. Or he just came out of a session with young Michael, and he's just like, this patient's all sorts of fucked up.
You got to think outside the box, though. That's how we're thinking now. But come out of the session with old Michael after they capture him, after he kills these people, after he's an adult and he's worn the mask and he's been around. Because remember, this was just one night, 6 times out the window, and then they catch him. Or maybe not right away. Maybe something else happened, then they catch him. But then they have him captive again. Dr. Loomis goes back to work, and then we get new stuff from Dr. We're not just going to hear the same devil's eyes, blah, 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 staring at the wall. We're going to hear different shit. Hot. We're going to have different shit because he's been captured, and now Dr. Loomis can, interrogate him again.
And I think it's kind of a weak way to do exposition. But, I mean, given the circumstances and what the franchise we're dealing with, it'll be very cool if that is what it is. Adult Michael, and it's like this man shows no remorse. I've been seeing him twice a week for the past 13 years and nothing. One time in October, I mentioned Laurie's name, and he looked at me. That was it. Whatever... They have to use it to take it somewhere else.
I agree.
And that's such a fucking loving nod and use of Dr. Loomis and Donald Pleasance's character to not just be like, and I'm here too. It's just like, no, you're going to be a very important clue or piece to this puzzle. And that's so cool.
It lets Dr. Loomis still be Dr. Loomis too, where in the first movie he's really the only one who is convinced that Michael is something else. He's some kind of monster. He's not human in there. It's the devil, and I know where he's going. I'm positive of it. And now we've got Laurie in this new movie who's also like, oh, he's coming back and I'm going to kill him. But we still get, Dr. Loomis still gets to be that role if we listen to his notes and he uncovers some things about what might happen if he were to get out.
So we're both on board, or at least probably hoping that this is close to what happens. But I can't help but think of the options of, we have a Donald Pleasance impersonator, we have the audio, and I'm just thinking, well, what use of audio can they present to us? Notes on a cassette player.
Yep.
A voicemail, I guess. Maybe Lori's thinking back to a conversation she had with the doctor. I'm trying to think of all of these things.
Ooh, I got one. If you're listening to this right now, I'm no longer here. But there's something I have to reveal. And then something.
I'm the father.
Yeah. I don't think that. But
I'm Michael Myers. I
like,
shot myself 6 times.
Maybe a tape Lori got when he died that was in his will, where it's just to her. It could be something deeper than just notes.
What if, and this is far off the reservation, but your whole, if you're listening to this, which is, do you think this movie now ends with, and we would have heard about it if those rumors were legit, does it set up for a sequel besides the, his body's missing again.
Right.
I guess he's still out there. But I have some information that's very important to you. There's a cult called Thorn, or whatever the fuck they want to do.
Something.
Yeah, do they maybe use it that way? And the only reason I bring that bullshit up, and it's a very bad idea, is because of that quote. Let me pull that shit up. There's a vocal cameo you may or may not notice till the end credits. Motherfuckers, we're going to recognize an impersonator of Donald Pleasance. We're going to know, oh, that's Dr. Loomis. What does this mean, Jim? There's a vocal cameo you may or may not notice, because we'll notice it. How? What are they going to pull? What fucking Easter egg are they going to fucking pull that we may or may not notice?
This is separate. Well, I'm thinking maybe...
yeah, it's separate.
Maybe the nurse from the first movie. Maybe is it a vocal? No. See, they didn't give us details. Is it a vocal cameo of just the character or the original actor?
He says we nailed the Pleasance thing, I think, if I do say so myself. And then there's a couple other nods to the past films. There's a vocal cameo you may or may not notice till the end credits, which I'm assuming is just like, oh, Jamie Lloyd. That was Jamie Lloyd's voice. I get it. So it's got to be something like that.
Yeah, but it could also just be a cameo in terms of an actor that's been in other movies.
Paul Rudd. He's back.
Probably.
If I don't get Paul Rudd.
If there was ever a chance of a Paul Rudd cameo, wouldn't it be the one involving Danny McBride over any of the other one? It's the strongest chance we've got.
Because they're buds.
Yeah, and it'd probably be funny to them. Like, oh man, Paul, remember when you were in that dog shit one and you totally sucked and you were that creepy child molester? You want to do like a voiceover in this movie?
If I ever made a Halloween movie, we would have Tommy Boyle, XYZ. But that'll never happen. It's like fucking 7 years later, they're making a Halloween movie.
Hey, Paul, remember when I said, but it'll never happen? Well, I'm going to need you. I think it'd be cool if it's like a tape he gives to Lori in his will. And he's like, don't open this unless he's dead, unless you kill him.
I know what you're saying, but I hate that in case of emergency.
Yeah.
But if it was just like, these are just the files, and there's like 400 hours of this, and if you want to pull some nuggets from it, God bless you.
And maybe they're combing through it in some sort of montage, and they find a nugget. Like, wait, this is interesting. And they bring him they find the mask, and they bring him the mask back because of something he says on the tape.
Yeah, I think it might be something like that.
Nick in the chat said it's going to be Morgan Freeman is going to be the cameo.
You may or may not notice Morgan Freeman's voice, but those end credits.
I think you'll notice God.
Morgan Freeman. Last little nugget on this, because I was thinking about it during our conversation just now. It seems young Michael did the bad thing when he was a child, and he gets locked up for fucking ever. And he escapes. And that's what this movie is. Does he kill anyone in between? Does he kill guards? Is there an almost escape attempt?
Oh, yeah, like maybe like a quashed one. Like maybe in 83 he almost got out, and then in 89 he got all the way to Ridgemont, but we picked him back up. Like maybe he's tried it. That to me, that would be so much. It would be like this whole, like, he's been waiting this X amount of days.
It would humanize him.
It would make more sense if it's like he's tried to get out all these other ways, because it's sort of, I kind of don't like the it's been 40 years exactly, so it's like some sort of clock in his head. I think he wants to get out.
Well, we don't know. We know there's a bus transport and something goes awry and he escapes. We don't know if he like kills the bus driver or if he causes this. Maybe there's just like a series of somewhat supernatural accidents that always happen that just about get this motherfucker out of here. And they've been able to contain it, the handful of times, but it's like, oh, not this last one when he's 74.
If we look at part 1 and part 4, because that's really the only times this happens, and it really isn't. When Loomis says he's been staring at the wall to this date, I don't think he means that date exactly. He means till the day he can get out, because it's sort of an opportunity. They're transferring him because he's 21 years old now. He's not a ward of the state. He's his own man. He's got to go somewhere else, and they have to take him to court and evaluate him. And he uses that opportunity of the transfer to get out. So in Halloween 4, it's the same thing. They're transporting him from this place to that place, and he was just waiting. He was like, I knew one day they'd be coming to transport me, and he was ready to rock when they transport him. So maybe it's another case of that.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. And what they're doing with this movie is just a very subtle theme that I think is adorable. Because it's a documentary crew or something, and they basically come almost like poking the bear, kind of making fun of them, like, here's another freak for our web series show or whatever the fuck it is. Right. And obviously we live in this remake era, and it's sort of making fun of that. Like, I guess we'll go to inmate 5761, Michael Myers. And it's just like, we can't leave well enough alone. So let's see what this one can do for us. And what does it do? It fucking hammers your teeth out of your fucking head. So I kind of like, it's almost like Michael Myers versus like remakes in a way.
I have a theory.
And that's very cute.
Do you want to hear my theory?
Please. This is my favorite part.
I think not overtly, but I think in some way, to make their documentary a little juicier, they contribute to his escape. Not overtly. I'm not saying they give him keys to the car, but I'm saying they probably do something, and it's risky, but it'll be a good shot, and it somehow results in these bad things happening.
Maybe, like, they're definitely bad characters. Like, they're shitheads. They're greedy.
They don't make it to the end.
They don't make it till the end of Act 1.
Right. Whose teeth are those? Oh, that guy.
I was just like, why does he have a hammer? Because that's so good. But what? Like, I agree with you that they'll probably overstep themselves.
Yeah.
How? Like, what? Like this the bus driver for your transport's got a real big drinking problem. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck could they do? Not
with the bus, but maybe something else they do sets him off. Maybe
here's
like
a hammer. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me.
Like, oh well, he's supposed to be tranquilized, but if we it'll look better if we make sure he's not drugged up for this shot when we show him the mask. Something like that. That's
good. Yeah, they talk to the warden. They're like, look, this guy hasn't been a problem for the past 9 years.
Don't sedate him. What if he talks? Like,
we'll stay out of the chain boundary. We know the rules. We'll sign a waiver. All that stuff. Just don't do that. That could be good. That could be good. We're going to be disappointed when this movie comes out.
We're writing a pretty cool movie right here on this podcast.
That movie's so much fun. But yes, I'm trying to get it all out here because we've agreed. This is the last time we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, because even if you're just theorizing, then your expectations, go up and down with the theories. And I just want to sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, and what's been good, at least with the one trailer and the other stuff that we've heard, there hasn't really been one piece that's made us go, well, that sounds questionable. The teeth thing, when we read about it, sounded lame, but when we saw it, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then him slamming on the door, oh my God, that was so creepy.
And the most recent footage of he stabs her and he kills this lady and he gets a knife, and it's like, of course he gets a knife. Like, that sounds very cool. Like, there hasn't been one misstep as of yet.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to leave it until the movie comes out. And then it's probably going to be 3 or 4 episodes straight where that's all we talk about.
Yeah, so strap in for that one. On an unrelated note, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
A Nightmare on Elm Street. Robert Englund has an idea.
So do I.
For a new Nightmare on Elm Street film. What was yours?
Have him play Freddy still, because why not?
That is a good one.
That's the only one I need.
This is a man that knows, none of us live forever. We can't do the things that we could do when we were young men. Robert Englund shared his idea for a new take on Wes Craven's most iconic creation. This is from comicbook.com. Bunch of quotes here because Robert Englund loves to fucking talk, so give me a second.
Oh, does he ever?
If I had an Eli Roth budget, I would have cast different actors to play Freddy for every potential victim, because Freddy is only alive in the imagination of his future victim. They would talk about it at a slumber party or in a locker room at school or on a bus going home. All we know about this Fred Krueger is he wears a hat, wears a red and green striped sweater, and has a clawed hand. That's the specifics. So in his little spin, things would kind of change here and there depending on each victim. So it could be a red and green cardigan for one Freddy. It could be an old tattered baseball cap for another Freddy. Freddy could be tall, short, overweight. He could be muscular. Every one of the victims could have a different Freddy they imagined, and you could haunt them with that Freddy. There are more quotes, but how do you feel about that?
How do I look like I feel?
I'm going to click on it so I can see. Yeah, I wasn't feeling it either.
They kind of have already done that. Like, oh, Freddy's your mom. Oh, Freddy's the nurse. Freddy's the TV.
They did since episode 1. And then
at some point, he's Robert Englund, and he's Freddy.
And I think that's kind of what he's pitching, where it's just like, you guys do all that legwork, and then I show up at the end like, what's up?
Yeah, we'll do 2 days of shooting where it's just all the times I'm in it.
I'm old now.
Yeah, it's very rare that the person, like the star, the actor that people are going to see is the actor who's the killer. But I think that's definitely the case with Nightmare on Elm Street versus, people are going to see Jason. They're going to see Michael Myers, but they're going to see C.J. Graham. They don't know who's playing Jason. Whereas the fans are like, no, I want to see that guy play that character. Like, that's what kept people coming back to see those. And I got an idea. How about you play Freddy again? There's a thought. Since we're throwing reboots and re-sequels and shit out the window now, and we're just doing whatever we want, how about in this world, you're still Freddy? Because why not?
Yeah. I think part of this comes from, they haven't made a new Nightmare movie since that last one, which sucked. And he obviously wasn't even in it. But I think he's coming at it from the place of, there's a paycheck in this for us still. Get some fodder, get some leads. I can do some Freddy. You can do some, there's still money here. People are always scared, dreams, nightmares. And he says all the stuff he needs to say. But, and he's right. I don't know if it's this, I'll come in at the end sort of thing. And it definitely sounds like a man who's older and knows that, and he can't jump through windows and that kind of shit. But you don't need to. You don't need to do that. We don't need to do the guessing game of stunt guy, Robert Englund. Stunt, we don't need to do that. Just stand in an alley with your fucking arms extended and have them grow out. And it's going to scare people. And then chase us like a fucking weirdo.
I think they sort of stretched when they made New Nightmare. That was sort of the what's a different direction we can take this in, and that was cool. I thought, like, he's real. He's in the real world. So, like,
okay,
where do you
Jim,
go differently with this?
I'm going to stop you right there. Next week, we're going to pitch a couple ideas for where we would take New Nightmare on Elm Street movie. With Robert Englund, maybe without him. We'll have a couple ideas, and we'll pick up this conversation there.
For sure.
Because I do find it interesting. They're always trying to do new Jason movies and failing. We'll do found footage. What the fuck are you talking about, New Line? Fuck out of here. Footage. Idiots.
Where's that girl in the corner?
And with all the resequeling. So here's what we'll do. Next week we're going to do how we would do a sequel or maybe a resequel to Nightmare on Elm Street series. We're also going to talk about another franchise doing some resequeling. And we're just going to have a really good show. And it's not going to have any Halloween 2018 talk. Any plugs, Jim?
Not yet. You can
close?
check. Yeah. It's getting close to the start of something new.
Cool.
Yeah, Sunday. The only plug would be
very close.
Go to facebook.com /JamesJR Songs. Follow me on Instagram at JamesJR Music. And that's it. Those are my only plugs for right now.
Let me throw up all the photos that I had of I had Robert Englund that I didn't throw up because I've been drinking. There he is. So yeah, this was episode 30. Thanks for listening and watching. Nick, who I believe was there. I'm Donald Pleasance.
I'm Fred the janitor from Scream.
Ooh,
deep.
Wow.